Hello friends, I'm Renu, life coach, and I hope that you all are safe, fine and healthy. In my previous video, I have spoken at length about empathy and the way it can influence people to impart their contribution in the form of support or whatever small thing they can by being in the shoes of the other person. It is very true that we cannot be with the person exactly the way they are in that event or the circumstances. That is, the event or the circumstances cannot be shared, but the feelings can definitely be shared. So it's about looking into the world with the perspective of the other person and finding out their pains and their challenges. Now, this is a beautiful virtue which needs to be inculcated in the children. It is also the best part that empathy can be a learned behavior. And to make the children learn about it, we can do it in the form of an activity which doesn't need any tool, which doesn't need any specific place. We can do it in our home itself. It has got no restrictions of age, it has got no restriction of the number of people in it. We can just do this learning at our own comfortable place at our home. And this is the best time for us to understand and impart it as an essential experiential learning for the children. So how do we do this? Through an activity. You can call this activity as empathy circle, where each member of the family can be seated and you can form a small circle. And by being in that circle, you also have to have a bowl of small chits which have various professions or various relations being written onto it. I can give you various examples and that will help you understand it more better. So once that bowl is being passed, you can play a light music, and when the music stops, whoever holds the bowl will have to pick one chit, and the chit is to be opened and read, and whatsoever is written on the chit, the person has to go at the center of the circle and stand there. For example, if it is a doctor, so the person has to go into the circle and close their eyes and think about the various challenges and various sacrifices or the pains that the doctor would be facing in his life. You can take a little time of 30 seconds to think about it, reflect it, feel it, and then open your eyes and you can speak to the people in the circle as though you yourself are the doctor. Now, there are various situations I can offer which you can use to play with the children, even with the senior citizens at home. It can be played with the parents, with the grandparents, with the children themselves, and a lot can be reflected upon and a lot of experiential learning can be gained through this activity. I can give you, we are going through unprecedented times and very, very challenging times of COVID-19. And there are many, many such events which we are witnessing through the television or through the newspapers, or we come to know from people. There are many such instances. You can take a chit and mention over there a doctor working for 12 hours during this COVID-19, or any medical fraternity who is working or being overloaded or is stretching beyond his capacity and the duration what he is supposed to. This can be the second situation. You can have the situation of a police officer who has not been able to go to visit his parents, where one of the parent, the father, is suffering from severe kidney issue and the mother is suffering from some coronary issues. Now, how difficult it is for that police officer to remain on duty and to work, and how difficult it becomes when people violate the rules which are being laid down by the government, and he is the one who is to guide and make people see the direction or not to violate the laws. So you have to think of all those instances which might be imparting challenges in their lives. You can have another instance where there is a police officer who is a mother and who has a 1-year-old baby at home, and she's not able to visit the baby. There are many such instances. The social media is full of this. You have an instance where the police officer reaches home for the lunch but still is not in a position to go and hold the child close to him or meet his family members. He sits very aloof in a corner and has the bucket as a tabletop and is having his lunch over there. We have to feel what they are feeling. You can take the instance of a teacher who is burning the midnight oil and preparing the lessons, and she's keeping herself abreast with the integration of the technology and education and making herself a little more efficient than what she would have been earlier, and making the education possible even in these times when the children are at home. You can think about a situation where the children are not in a position to move out of the home. They cannot meet their school friends or their classmates, have fun with them. So they are just within the confines of the four walls, and they do not have anyone else of their age group to share their happiness and joy, and how they miss their schools and meeting their friends. You can also have an instance where you can think of the migrant workers who have covered miles and miles to reach to their home. How difficult it is for them. And they did not have any conveyance to go. And they managed to walk those distant kilometers without any help. They had no food. They had no conveyance. So how they would have felt. And they are having little children. How did they manage to go there? There was an instance where a woman is seen moving a trolley and the child fell asleep on the trolley itself. There are migrant workers who were to reach their home, and few kilometers before they met with the accident. Think about their family members who would be hoping for their arrival and who would be so apprehensive of how they would be and when would they be reaching, and when the news would have broken to them that they are no more. You can have the situation of migrant workers. There were 5 or 6 of them who had only 5,000 rupees with them, and they bought a new cycle which cost them 4,000 rupees, and they had 1,200 kilometers to travel. How could they manage that? They had given everything, all money of theirs, in fact all saving of theirs, which they would have thought to take home and give small gifts to their parents or to their children who were there kilometers away. How about the doctors who were being badly treated by the COVID patients? How they would have felt? How would, if we personify our nation, and if we think of our nation as our mother, how would the nation be feeling? When there are people who are wanting to take care of your health, and so they are abiding by the law and they are fulfilling their duties and responsibilities, they are asking you to be inside, and stones are being pelted on them, or the COVID warriors. We have those instances where the doctors were being pushed away from those places. How would the nation as mother would be feeling? Now these are the various ways in which you can touch upon and make each member reflect upon it. You can also have the family member to speak about, like, by being the mother or the father. So when you take the role of being the mother, you have to understand all the challenges the mother faces at home, how the father would be facing the challenge, or a grandparent who is unable to meet any relative or any friend of theirs, and they are unable to go outside and meet their friends in the park or have a walk. There are many such instances which will be very, very revealing and quite as an eye-opener. You can think about the ways in which a person who is facing abuse in any form, and how about a rape victim after the incident had occurred, and if fortunately she is alive, how would she feel? Or an acid survivor, how would she feel? Or how would she come with the courage to live in the society, and from where would she gather all this immense strength? Think about it. Think about the soldier who is at the border and who knows none of us, who hasn't met any of us, but is there with the passion to serve the nation and is ready to take death, is ready to allow the bullet to cross his chest and take away life for people whom they have never met. And we sit here very, very comfortably and luxuriously and enjoy, and how adverse circumstances they have to face, the way they are there at such dipping temperatures, freezing temperatures in fact. How is it possible? So these are various events which you can note down on a piece of paper and pass it in a bowl, and then you can go at the circle, think about them, feel what they are feeling, how difficult it is for them. Think about it. Think about a person who is a beggar asking for alms sitting on the roadside. Think about the small children who are being made to beg for by various traffickers. How difficult it is for them, how difficult the life is for them, each day for them. Think about it. This is very essential for us to listen as though we are listening by their ears, to see the world as if we are seeing the world from their eyes, and to feel the world as if we are feeling it from their heart. And that will give you a deep understanding of what this life is comprised of. It's not easy for anyone. The only thing is that we believe it's always greener on the other side. Empathy is the medicine. It's the medicine for the world. Let's start healing people by offering this immense potential we are gifted with, and that is empathy. So, I put an end to this today with the belief that you would think about it, reflect about it, and then have an experiential learning and impart it to everyone, whosoever you touch upon in their lives. Never, never give up on empathy. Let it be one of your best friends, and you'll find you have touched many lives. So with this, thank you so much.